Hello friends! In this video I'll show you how to assemble our Virna doll. Virna comes unassembled with some other things. Here is a bag with the elastic and some other things. There's your doll parts, authenticity certificate, and also this info card. It tells you, for example, how to find this video. But that's all about the contents of the box. Now we can move to the interesting part, which is how to assemble the doll. Before this, I dyed my Virna this wonderful light green because she's a forest dragon and it's spring. So this felt very appropriate. Oh yes, your Virna's neck and tail pieces will come connected with this kind of a stick. This one wasn't because it's a prototype, but I connected these, I added this trash stick so you can see how your doll comes. It's really easy to remove, you can just snap it with your fingers, it snaps really easily. But it's really handy to keep your neck and tail pieces separate from each other, so you don't mix those to each other. But if you do find yourself from the situation that your neck and tail pieces gets mixed up, don't worry at all, because it's really easy to rearrange them. The neck and the tail are actually copies of each other, so you just need to take all the pieces and make two identical lines from the smallest to the biggest. And you'll be left with these two pieces, and this goes to the tail. So the tail is longer than the neck, but it's this simple to rearrange. The next I'll cover the contents of this. But I do wanna note though that seriously you need nothing else but the contents of the box and a pair of scissors for this project. Nothing else. So you'll get 140 centimeters of elastic. This is the thicker elastic that we have in our shop. Also you get some metal wire. This will be your best friend and your only assembly tool. And you'll also get some extra pieces. And these only purpose is to be there if you want to test something, for example dies or some techniques. These are the same material as what your doll is made of. You'll also get 10 S-hooks. You'll only need 8 for your doll, but there are a couple extras just in case if you happen to need them. But do note though that there is 2 hooks that are different from the others. I've simply just squeezed the bigger end, the bigger loop, a bit smaller from these 2 hooks. And the reason for that is that this hook is supposed to go inside of the wing. And the cavity inside of the wing is so narrow that the S-hook fits in there, but it does scratch the inside of the piece and it makes the movement of the piece less fluent. So it's way nicer when this piece is slightly smaller than all the others. So don't worry if you lose these, you can squeeze your excess ones smaller or you can use the normal ones. But now we are ready to start assembling. So first I'll just unwrap this. And we need to hook the elastic to the wire like this, and we'll start from the front legs and the wings. So let's grab the torso, and you want to push this wire through the front leg hole to the wing hole. Actually, you wanna keep this wire here because we're also gonna go through the wing part. So we'll start with the tiny ball and then we're gonna put this piece. It has a flat end and a diagonal end, and place it now the diagonal end downwards. The flat end comes against the other wing piece. And that's it. Now you can remove the wire. So now we can grab the wing piece and one of those S-hooks that I mentioned earlier, so the one that have been squeezed a bit smaller. And now put the bigger end, the bigger loop, to the wing, and the smaller one connects to the elastic. Then you can just pull the elastic to secure the S-hook in place. And now we have assembled our first wing. And then we pull this through. This went inside. Never mind, I got it out. But yeah, the reason why we go from a wing to a front leg instead of from wing to wing and leg to leg, that in order to make the assembly as easy as possible, I've added the S-hooks also to the front legs. So you could assemble the front legs without the S-hook as well if you manage to pull the elastic from this small hole. I do this with Salvador, I use tweezers for that. But in order so you don't need the tweezers, we use the S-hook. But when both of the front legs have an S-hook, and if they would connect to each other, the elastic inside the torso would be so short that it wouldn't work, it wouldn't function as it's supposed to. So that's why we're pulling this from a wing to a leg, so the elastic is a bit longer, so it will work better. So now you just put the elastic around. Well, before you wanna do this though, just to save elastic, you're gonna grab the end of the elastic and pull all the extras out. So when we cut this in the end, then we don't need to cut as much. Now you have way less extra here. And now you can put the elastic around the S-hook. Like so. Oh, don't drop it. And now we can just make a knot. And after that, you can check that the wing works well, the elastic is not too tight, not too loose, it holds poses. And once you've checked that, you can make the other knot. After that, we just cut the excess elastics. And now we shove these extras inside the doll. But because of the knot is so close to the S-hook, it might make the front leg movement a bit wonky. So when you have both of the legs assembled, move them a little around in their place or pull the wing out a little lightly so you get better movement with the legs, because right now at this stage the legs wants to kind of pull to whatever direction they want to. So once you get that a bit wiggled around, then it starts to work better, and then you can pose the front legs as you like. So now we're ready to assemble the next wing and leg, and while I do that, I want to explain to you, why does this doll come unassembled? Virna is actually our response to that a lot of new people to the hobby are afraid of taking their doll apart. And you might want to do this for several reasons. For example, customization purposes, or if you need to change or replace the elastic at some point for some reason. So how does this doll help you? Because you have to assemble it in the first place, you'll learn how the doll works, and you'll see that assembling it is really not that scary at all. Okay, my camera kept overheating yesterday, so I'm trying again today. It's a bit cooler day. So where were we? assembling the back legs. So we start this with getting the wire through the holes of both of the back legs. So you need to bend this a little. And then put the elastic through. Pull it through. And now we put the first back leg piece through. And after that comes just an S-hook with the rest of the back leg. And secure that with the piece. And then just pull the excess. Oh no, this is in here again. Don't let this happen. Let's see if I get it back. Oh yes, success. Okay, so now we pull the elastic through and we have one back leg ready. And then we just repeat. And now once again we want to get the excess elastic out. And then we just need to make a knot. And we check that it poses well. And you do not need to really pull this really tight. Like, I regret that so much. In the Salvador assembly video, I say it so much, so often, that pull the elastic tight, make sure it's tight, and you need to pull it tight. You really don't need to pull it tight. Like, when I was making that video, we had different elastic. So now with this newer elastic, you don't need to pull it so tight, so the doll functions well. With that other elastic, you need to pull it really tight, so it holds poses. But with this new elastic, you really don't need to. So you don't need to pull that hard. But here we have the doll. It can stand on its own. And now we have only the neck and the tail left. It doesn't really matter what you start with. You can choose. I'm gonna go with the neck. So once again, we get the elastic through the wire. And now we're gonna put the wire through the torso. And this might be a bit tricky because there's so much elastics inside of the doll. You could also avoid this by doing this the first. You could honestly choose the order. This is just how I happened to do it today. I haven't assembled so many Virnas myself either, so this is probably like third time I'm assembling Virna. But yeah, remember that the longer line of pieces is your tail. So now we're gonna go with the shorter one, and you just start stacking on the pieces from bigger to smaller. And these last two pieces, they have a difference. The other one has a bigger hole than the other, so the bigger hole goes against the head. So just keep that in mind. That's the last piece of the neck and the tail. The hole is bigger for that the S-hook can fit inside. So we remove the wire. And now when you put the S-hook, I've found that if you insert the bigger loop inside of the head, it's easier to attach in the head than the smaller head. So place it so that the bigger loop is outwards. And now you're supposed to hook the hook in the beam inside the head. I've earlier done this with tweezers when I've been assembling tuuletars, but to be honest, it's easier to do with your hands, with your fingers. So obviously you can't grab the S-hook because it goes so deep inside, but grab the elastic. You just hold on the elastic and it's pretty easy to get in there. And once that's done, you can pull the elastic through and you have an assembled neck. Then just pull enough elastic out that there is enough to go in and out, because you want to go in there and back from the tail. So the same thing, we stack the pieces from the biggest to the smallest. And then you take off the wire. And the final S-hook. Doesn't really matter how you put this, the bigger loop, the smaller loop, doesn't really matter. We just attach that to the tail tip, get it to the elastic, secure that in place so the tail doesn't fall. And after that we just need to tighten the elastic. And yeah, see this? Like, this is how much excess elastic I have in the end of the project. So you don't need to be that careful that you don't go wasting some centimeters of it. It doesn't really matter. You should have plenty to get this done. We'll just pull out the excess. And then the final knots. Just checking that the neck holds the poses, the tail is fine, everything seems fine. Then I make the other knot, cut that elastic, and we tuck these in. And there we have it! Adorable Virna! I hope you had a pain-free and easy assembly process with me. I certainly enjoy assembling these. And oh, look at how cute she is! She's adorable! I love the color. Initially I wanted her to be a bit lighter green, but this color is growing on me. She's so cute. But yes, thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of luck with your Virna projects, and please, please, please let us know, show us pictures if you happen to customize your doll, if you assemble your doll. We would love to see it. We can repost it in Instagram, we can show your customizations on our website, and please do not hesitate to contact us if you need any help. We are here for you. So let us know if you have any questions, if you need help with your doll. That's it. Thanks guys, and I'll see you later.